Welcome back to LimQ Plus, everyone. On this channel, I'm 100% in Breath of the Wild by a bit every day until Tears of the Kingdom, the sequel, comes out, which is today in 88 days. I want to basically re-explore a theory that I was kind of talking about in a previous video on my live stream, which I basically stream every single day other than Sundays, which happens to be today. Obviously, a lot of fans of Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild watch me either do speedruns or are recently joining to discuss things about Tears of the Kingdom, and especially the most recent trailer. And I made a video like 2 days ago about Ganondorf's voice not really sounding specifically super evil. It doesn't sound like this pure evil character. It almost sounds like it was potentially a friendly human who eventually went down a path of getting evil, turning evil, I don't know. Essentially, I think there's a pretty good chance that Nintendo is trying to make Ganondorf a more reliable, not reliable, but a more, a villain with like kind of like a motive, right? Because if you think about Calamity, Ganon was basically just a malice incarnate evil being, no voice. A lot of people ended up being disappointed by it when Ganondorf in the past had a little bit more relatability. We took this theory one step further and compared what we've recently seen from Tears of the Kingdom to a game that a lot of people in my community, including me, really love, and that game is Hollow Knight. And without really spoiling anything, if you played Hollow Knight, you'll see why the parallel is there. But basically, looking more at the teaser to Tears of the Kingdom, it looks like Ganondorf almost acts as some sort of vessel in the trailer. It looks like the malice is sealed inside himself rather than him being this evil being himself. Like, it's not like he could be evil, but it's not like he is the evil man. It's more like there is malice inside him, he's the vessel for this malice, and this malice is attacking from his body. Now, this made me think a little bit about the possibility that maybe Ganondorf in Tears of the Kingdom, which would fit this series, Breath of the Wild being a game that really basically broke a lot of traditional aspects about the Zelda series. Maybe Ganondorf, the body that we see, isn't actually even a villain in the first place. Maybe he just sealed the dark power inside himself to save Hyrule. And the voice that we hear is in fact not Ganon. I think it's an interesting theory to give some thought, and I wanted to discuss why I think there's a merit to it. First of all, one thing that stuck out to me the first time I've seen Ganondorf's full appearance is that, presumably Ganondorf, right? The corpse that we see with the Gerudo jewelry in the Tears of the Kingdom trailer, is that he's wearing a tunic that almost looks identical in terms of the clothing shape to whatever our long hair ancient hero Link is wearing. It's still to this day not confirmed if that's just an outfit for Link himself. Some people, me included, think it might have some, it might be related to Link's or the ancient hero's past appearance. So they basically wear the same tunic. Maybe that means they initially were doing things at the same time. They may have even been, you know, acquainted to an extent. And obviously, if you think about it, this entire setup of Ganondorf being in this underground cave, sealed by this Zonai arm, which ends up giving Link its power or ends up somehow connecting with Link, you could almost think that maybe the person that sealed the evil malice inside Ganondorf may have been the ancient hero or potentially Link. And maybe this was done innocently. Like Ganondorf maybe intentionally said here, obviously I'm dumbing this down, right? Just to think about this a little bit more. Maybe in a heroic act, Ganondorf decided to seal the evil malice inside himself to save the kingdom. And maybe this is why the Zonai later on made him kind of their hero. There is depictions of Zonai drawings in the very first teaser that looks like they were basically thinking of Ganondorf as a hero. I don't know if I have any pieces here, but the barbarian armor, I actually don't have the headpiece here, which has red hair, is definitely kind of modeled after Ganon. And why would the Zonai, a tribe who it looks like they're going to be helping us in Tears of the Kingdom, think of Ganondorf if he was just this evil guy as a hero. Obviously, the Zonai might not be friendly after all. They're known to be a savage, warlike tribe, but they would obviously respect somebody who basically sacrifices himself to save the kingdom. At least, I think there is some merit to it. Obviously, in the past, Ganondorf is kind of just a bad guy, and this would also kind of, at first, this would mean that the malice that's inside Ganondorf might be some evil, pure evil power, something like Demise. Maybe in Tears of the Kingdom, the entire Demise thing is going to be reimagined. But again, I think there's some merit to this. Another point that I do want to kind of talk about specifically, and I'm not a super Zelda lore expert. I just like kind of like going for these crackpot theories and discussing them and ask you guys what you think about them. Because I feel like a lot of you guys are actually more well-versed in the Zelda lore than me. But from what I know is, the mice is sealed inside the Master Sword, right? At least in the Skyward Sword universe. And there's this screenshot from the game, and you can actually see it in the trailer, where that malice inside Ganondorf is specifically going for the Master Sword. It's not actually attacking Link. It's attacking the Master Sword, and I think because it also ends up burning Link's arm. Almost like the malice wants to free the mice. Obviously, again, crackpot theory, could be completely wrong. But I think, again, it's an interesting topic to discuss, especially with small details like that in mind. Maybe it is successful, and because the Master Sword is destroyed, the mice can escape and is now attacking Hyrule again. It looks like, though, at the end of the day, that Ganondorf will wake up to an extent. Obviously, his eyes start glowing. This could be the malice inside him controlling his corpse. But I do really think there's a super interesting world in which we learn about Ganondorf as this hero, maybe potentially Link's friend. This Gerudo guy who goes on adventures or whatever with the ancient hero, and through some tragic circumstances is eventually forced to have Link, maybe his best friend, seal the malice and the darkness inside himself. And in the events of Tears of the Kingdom, that malice does eventually break free, taking control of Ganondorf once again. Very similar to Hollow Knight, if you've played that game without specifically talking about it. I have thought about that a lot more now, how similar that even is. And I think there's a decently fair point that a little bit of inspiration might have happened there between Hollow Knight and the Breath of the Wild developers. But I just realized I am literally in... I own one arrow right now, a singular arrow. So in tomorrow's episode, I am going to be forced to buy some arrows. So I want to end this episode on a good warp point. So I can start tomorrow's episode by buying arrows. Otherwise, I won't really be able to complete some of these Koroxes. But yeah, I think it's a super interesting theory. I would honestly love for this to be the case. I would love if Ganondorf wasn't just this like mindless evil guy who's just like has like no motives or whatever, basically like Calamity Ganon again. And I think there's a chance that, at least to some extent, what I ranted about today might end up coming true. Obviously, at the end of the day, I still have 87 days to spew out more crackpot theories about the game. One of them is probably gonna be right at the end of the day. But I think this one in particular I'm personally pretty excited about. Yesterday I talked about the moon theory, and I did definitely see that a lot of people would not be a big fan of Tears of the Kingdom having some sort of time cycle mechanic. And I can definitely see how that's dangerous. It's interesting how I personally... I speedrun, so you would think I like going fast. And I do, but casually. Having some sort of like time pressure behind you has never really been fun to me. So I can definitely see that. I think it is interesting how the moon suddenly is playing a big role, drawing parallels to Majora's Mask, but obviously it might just be that the Blood Moon is another cool potential mechanic to explore for the developers, and that's why that is in place. Now, let me look for this boulder. There should be a boulder here somewhere. I don't know why I cannot find it. Maybe I'm not really remembering correctly where the boulder is. Because that would probably be a solid spot to stop for today, because then I can simply warp to the Dueling Peaks Tower tomorrow after buying some arrows. Let me know if you have any specific things about the trailer that you want me to talk about. Obviously, we are soon coming up to 1 week since release. Oh wait, the boulder is just down here. In my mind, it was like on the hill. Yeah, I just misremembered it. Obviously, we're getting to the point where the trailer is 1 week old and the hype will eventually fade a little bit more again. So I still have other topics to talk about. I will still have guests on the LimQ Plus channel. But I think Ganondorf being a more interesting / very different character this game would first of all fit the tradition of Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom in breaking traditions, and second of all, I think there's some merit to it from what we've seen. Let me actually get this Korok seed real quick here in this cave, so I can continue tomorrow getting one of those balloon Korok seeds from the tower. But that's gonna be it for today. I will end the episode here. Tomorrow I will buy arrows and then continue from here. We are at 67%, getting close to 70% now. We have 87 days left tomorrow. Thank you for watching once again. Let me know your thoughts about today's rant and what else you want to hear. I appreciate you. Thank you for watching again. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Bye.